Hello everyone, so welcome to the Cool Crochet Society. I'm Kelly and today I'm going to show you how to do the seed stitch. Seed stitch is also known as a lemon peel stitch, and it's a really great stitch for beginners because it only uses single and double crochet alternately, so it's just a repetitive pattern over and over and it's really easy to do. I'll just get some chains going here. So we're going to need a chain of how many rows you want to end up with, plus 1. So for this, if you chain 31, your row count will come out as 30. And if you're going to use a chain count that's odd numbers, you will end up with a different stitch on the end of what you start with. So I'm going to start with a single crochet, but you'll end with a double for the odd number of starting stitches. If you make an even number of starting stitches, you will end up with the same stitch on either end of the row. So I'm just going to zoom in here so you can see how I do it. Oops. There we go. So I'm going to start with a single crochet and I'm going to make this first chain here. This is going to count as my first stitch, so I'm just going to pop a stitch marker in there if it decides it wants to go in. Excuse me a second. There we go. Sorry about that. So I've just marked that because that's going to be my first single crochet. So I'm going to do a double crochet in the third chain from the hook. So that's 1, 2, 3. So that's going to be in the 29th chain if you're doing 30 stitches. 30, if you want a stitch count of 30 for the row, sorry, excuse me. Okay, so that there is my first stitch, that's the turning chain, and then double crochet in the next stitch. So then we're just going to do single and double crochet alternately all the way down. So in this one I'll do a single, and then next one a double. So you won't see any texture being created on this side. The texture is created on the opposite side. I'll show you that in a minute. I'm just going to do a few more stitches down here. So we'll be doing single, double, single, double, single, double. That's all there is to it. There we go. If I turn that over, there's your texture. Each set of stitches, a single and a double, creates this little bubble. So it'll be one little bubble for each 2 stitches. So I'm just going to do a few more. So what did I do there? That's a double. Go for a single. Let's grab some more yarn. And a double. And a single, and I'm just going to end with a double. So I've just done a short swatch here so you can see how it's done. Whoops, try that again. I'll zoom out in a minute so that the focus doesn't keep going in and out like that. So, and then you turn. So you've got that lovely texture going on. Oh, I like to turn with the alternate turning stitch. So the last stitch there was a double, which means that the next stitch needs to be a single and then a double. So in the top of every double crochet from the row below, you're going to do a single crochet. And for every single crochet from the row below, you'll do a double crochet. So this stitch alternates in every way. And if you're having trouble seeing which stitch is which, if you turn the work over, you can see it. So this biggest stitch here, that sticks up a little bit, that's your double. And the one that goes down and is hardly visible, that's your single. So you just need to do the opposite. So I'm just going to chain one and single crochet in the top of that double from the last row. And I'm going to mark that stitch because that is going to count as a stitch for the next row. Let's pop that in there. Okay, so I'm just going to zoom out so the focus doesn't keep going in and out. There we go. So the next stitch now will be a double into the top of that single. And we just keep on like this for the entire stitch. Problem with cotton is sometimes it does split. You just have to pop it back on your hook and all is good again. The double and then a single into the top of that double. A double in top of the single. And that's all there is to this stitch. You just keep alternating over and over. You go through both loops for this stitch, so you don't need to worry about it going one or the other. I'll just take that down there. If I go through the top, you see how I'm going through both of those top loops. I'll zoom back in for a second. But yeah, so there's the top of your stitch, and we're going through both loops like that. So there's nothing special about going through one or two loops in this. You are going through both, and the texture will be created both sides. It's always created on the wrong side of your stitch, so it will appear on both sides. Going to finish this little swatch. So single, and to the top of that single stitch we'll do a double. Grab some more yarn. And a single. No, that was a double, sorry, my apologies. Double into the top of the single. And that's the double, because it's sticking up. I do a single, and we're going to end on the double into the top of that turning chain. So that one can be a bit difficult to go through, but just give it a bit of a push. There we go. That's probably the most difficult stitch to get to in the entire stitch, but bear with it. And double. And that is, put that down there, that is the seed stitch. So it's a lovely texture, both sides, makes those lovely little bubbles. There we go, that's all there is to it. So thank you for joining me, and as always, if you have any questions, come over to the Facebook group. I'll put the link in the description. I'd love to see you and see how you get on. So thanks for joining me, and bye for now.